Start over. You know what? Start over. I want you to look at your camera
All right, all right.
and say honestly, say you're perfect now.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
What are you doing, bro? No, they didn't.
No, we didn't. We're still going. We're still. Yo, what the fuck?
The whole thing.
We're dead ass recording.
No, the camera's going, but the thing is, he said like cut off.
Just like
I said I'm gonna cut you off. I'm speaking to Mason. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Day in the Life podcast. Today, on our first episode, we have a pretty nice guest, a good friend of mine. He opened his own barber shop. We're in it right now. You're gonna get a few glimpses of inside. So we're just gonna start it off pretty easy. Mason, present yourself. Let them know who you are.
All right, what you want me to go from the beginning?
Yeah, from the beginning, just like where you grew up. Speak about your family. Not. We're not gonna dive into it. Just present. Who's Mason?
All right, what's up, everyone? Born and raised in the West Island, Montreal. I went to high school over here. I went to De Source. I was in Sport-Études. So I'm an ex-hockey player, and I actually stopped being serious about hockey to pursue barbering. So started off just a way to make a little pocket change on the side, and that turned into a passion and a career. So.
Okay, so what would you say? What would you say really got you into barbering? Is barbering the good term?
Yeah, into cutting hair. What got me into that was I was actually at a buddy's crib, and I was just going over there. And once I got there, he had a barber there cutting him and his boy's hair, and him and his brother's hair. And then once he was done, I saw him hand him a $50 bill.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, "Yo, you're paying him $50 just to cut his hair?" So
when was this? How old were you?
This was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that piqued my interest, and then the way I actually started was my boy Trenell. He had a party he had to go to, and he wanted a lineup. My dad had a pair of clippers, so I just did it, and then started from there.
Okay, so your first set, it was really from your dad?
Yeah, it was liners. It wasn't I couldn't fade with it. It was an outline, and I just got him fresh for his party, so I lined him up, and the rest is history.
So how did you get this started? Did you just do house calls? Did you just go to apply? Did you start going to an academy? How did you take your next steps once you knew you wanted to do?
Okay, so it was that night. So after I cut, I gave him a lineup. Came home, because while I'm cutting his hair, while I'm lining him up, we're thinking, okay, what's my barber name? All that. My OG barber name was ML Cuts.
ML Cuts?
ML Cuts, yeah, that was the first name.
I know this.
That was the first name, yeah.
I remember that shit.
So I get home, okay, ML Cuts. So I make the Instagram, and then I post the picture of his lineup, and then I remember just watching a bunch of YouTube videos, trying to get familiar with it. I remember I had gotten an old notebook, started writing down notes, drawing things, and it just started from there. I made the Instagram, and then followed a whole bunch of my friends, and then I charged $5 off the bat. A bad idea. You should do free haircuts if you're just starting out. But I charged $5. And then they would just come over. We lived in a small apartment, so they'd come over. I'd cut them in in my bathroom. That's it.
Okay. So, like you said, once you got that started and you started getting a clientele, was it then that you wanted to go work at a barber shop, or why didn't you stay doing house calls and stay on your own?
So the way it started is we lived in an apartment, and then I would only have a few, let's say 2-3 haircuts a week, and then I kept doing that, kept practicing for probably about a year.
Yeah.
And then we moved into a house, and then I had the whole basement. So my room was in the basement, and then there's also a common living space in the basement. And then I made that like my barber studio. So I had like my chair, I had a station, mirror, and it was from there. Okay, now it's serious. Now I was posting more. I got more people to come, and then what made me switch? So between that time and when I first started working in a barber shop, let's say it's about 3 years.
Yeah.
The reason why I switched to the barber shop was because I didn't have an entrance that goes straight to the basement. So you had to go through my whole house to go downstairs. So it was kind of weird having like random people just walking through my house. So it was at the point where, okay, my clientele was getting bigger. And then I decided, okay, maybe it's best to move to a barber shop because it was snowballing. So
Okay, so at that point, we're in what year? At what year did you go to a barber shop and like have your own chair?
So it was. So I did. Okay, I've worked at 3 different barbershops.
Okay,
First two.
bring us through that. Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was one in Dorval. I was in Sec 4, which is grade 10.
What was it called?
A&W
A&W.
in Dorval.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would do that on weekends because I was still in high school.
Huh.
Or it was every second weekend. It was something weird like that. But I remember I was a shy kid, so that was hard for me. Like it was just I would like stress going there. Like it just wasn't pleasant. So I did every second weekend for about like 3 months, or every Saturday, let's say. And then after that, I was like, hey, I'm not down to do this anymore. Kept working from home. And then there was an opportunity at Fairview. There's a barbershop called La Familia that opened up.
Yeah.
Then I tried to work there. I worked there for one day.
Really?
Yeah, one day. And
Why?
I didn't like the way the guy ran things. Like, it was weird. Like, you got your tips. It was weird. It was weird. I basically, like, he thought I stole money from him. And he was being all, like, mean to me. But I'm like, I'm just a little kid. So I'm like, yo, I'm never going back there again. So then I stopped that. And then worked at home for a bit. And then, like, basically, this was, I had done 1 year at in CJEP.
Okay.
Right after high school.
Where'd you go?
I went to John Abbott.
Okay.
I was still cutting, but I kind of knew school wasn't really for me. Like, I wasn't having a hard time in school. I just felt like if it was a waste of time. So what I did was I just stopped going to school, and then I went to go work at a barber shop because my childhood barber, he was opening up a spot like right next to my crib. So it was like the perfect opportunity. And then I went to work there, and that was like the first actual barbershop. I worked there for 4 years.
Okay, that barbershop. What was it called?
Académie Le Papillon.
Académie Le Papillon.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there, how long did you stay there?
I was there for 4 years.
Okay, so that was the first barbershop that you felt like comfortable. You settled in.
Yeah, that was like this, like a serious. Like I took everything serious. Like build my clientele there.
Okay, so that's where you got started.
Yeah.
So when you say your clientele, like how booked were you? Like from then, did you have like full weeks ongoing, or
Up until I opened this place up.
yeah, or just throughout your 4 years? How did that process going with your
No,
clientele?
like when you start off, like you can go like 3 days straight without cutting one person. Just kind of relying on walk-ins and your Instagram posts to do good. But up until like I wasn't even that booked up before I opened up this spot. I was more like I would get booked up like 2 days in advance.
Okay.
You have some barbers that are booked up 2 weeks in advance.
Huh.
But me, I'm like my day will fill up. But you can like if it's I work every day, right? So let's say it's a Sunday, you want to book for me the next day on a Monday, I'm not too busy. So I'll have time.
Okay.
But if you want to book like if it's a Thursday and you want to book for a Friday, then you have to book like 2 days in advance, the busy days.
Okay. So pretty much okay. So barbershops, they also have their own type of events.
Yeah.
And I heard about a few, and then you were telling me like off camera how you went to your first event. Was it your first event?
Yeah.
So explain to me about that. What is it called?
The Barber Expo?
Yeah, so it's a barber expo, and what exactly happens there?
Okay, so it's the CT Barber Expo. I would recommend any barber to go to an expo.
Okay.
Because you number one, you learn a lot, but number two, you kind of when you come back, you feel hungry. Like you're there, you're like, okay, I want to go work. It's just a huge motivation. So yeah, it's a CT Barber Expo. It's like a 2-day expo. I did like the whole VIP thing, which was the whole package. So there was an award show at night, on the Saturday night. You have all the good the known barbers getting their awards.
Mm.
The next morning, 8 a.m. from 8 to 1, it's a class. So there's like a whole bunch. So like Wall has an hour, Andis has an hour, Tomb 45 has an hour.
Yeah.
So everyone has an hour to teach whatever they want, which is like, it could be like actual things about cutting hair, but it could be things about like the business side of things. So there's that, and then from 1 to 8, I think it is, there's the expo.
Okay.
And the expo is a huge area with a whole bunch of booths, and all the big brands have booths. You can get a booth if you want, but it's just, you just walk around and meet people.
Okay.
Walk around, talk to people. You could buy things. You see all the new products. It's like a toy store for a barber.
Okay, so it's almost like I thought of like a sneaker con. It's almost like a sneaker con for
Yeah,
barbershops.
exactly,
Okay, you
yeah.
have like they have like their own like kiosk and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So down there, what was your motivation? What did you see that like really drove you and like gave you that next step? Was it there that you got the next step that boosted you to be like, okay, I could take this somewhere?
Not necessarily. So it definitely gave me motivation to push harder, but it didn't motivate me to like do what I did, like open up a spot.
Okay.
It was more, well, so I'll explain. So coming back from there, I came back and I was like, yo, I'm like, let's work, let's get this done.
Yeah.
I met a bunch of famous barbers, influencer barbers. And like the barber I look up to is Chris Bossio. I met that guy. Sean Casser. Like I met all these guys, and the one thing that they told me was, how consistent are you? Like that was their question. I said, oh, I do YouTube too.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, how consistent are you? And like I wasn't too consistent. So I got that tatted on my hand right like after the expo, actually, because it was like I wanted to get like as a memory.
Where'd you get it tatted?
In New York. Yeah.
Your arm, show
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I got that tatted, and then once I was there, I got to speak to Chris Bossio, which is like, he's like the barber I look up to the most. And I asked him the question because I wasn't sure. I was torn between being like an influencer barber and opening up like a barber shop, and I was leaning more towards the influencer barber because that's the lifestyle that every barber wants to have. But he told me, so that the two options were, number one, to have like a private studio, which is like a little, like you rent a room and it's just you. And I was thinking, oh, it would be so good to like film content and all that.
Yeah.
And then the other side was to have a barbershop. And I asked him straight up, and he told me exactly like, you need to open up a barbershop. The return is way more. Like you should put your time and effort towards that, because the return, it'll just be better for you after all. So I took his advice and we did this.
So boom, when you say we did this, he's talking about the OneThree, the barbershop we're in right now. So let's start off the top. Like, how did you get with the OneThree? What made you want to go with that name?
With the OneThree, okay, so I've kind of always had the number 13 like as my hockey number. And it was just a number. I didn't really like pick the number. It was given to me. But I like the number, but it was given to me. And then it was given to me like not only once, like a few times. It's just a number that just gravitated towards me.
You kind of sound like Taylor Swift, but keep going.
Damn. No, I don't know. It's like, it's just always found its way back to me. And then I just, okay, that's my lucky number. That's my number. And then when wanting to name the barbershop, I wanted something that was personal to me and not just like anything. Like another name I liked was Hollywood Barber Studio.
Oh,
I liked Hollywood. Hollywood was a cool name, but anyone can just go. You can go and open up a Hollywood, but you wouldn't go open up a OneThree or.
So you wanted it
13.
to be like more unique to you.
Yeah, something that was me.
Okay, that's what's up. So, what steps? Like I'd say once you had that idea, okay, boom, you like the OneThree. What steps did you take to be like, okay, I need to do these steps to open up my barbershop? What were those steps like? How did you navigate to get to that point of actually moving into the first steps of like looking at places or like?
Okay, so the name came after.
Okay, so it came after.
Yeah, that was like a later stage.
So you knew at that point you already knew that you wanted a barbershop.
No, it was like the barbershop's happening. What are we gonna call it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So before we get into that, I remember I bought in pancarte a white big paper. Zach actually told me about this.
Okay.
And me and my girlfriend, we sat down and we're just Googling like cool names. So there's like Elite, Hollywood, a whole bunch of things. So just to see like what I would like. And after all these names, like it just nothing hit the same as the OneThree because that was like personal. But back to what your question was, is how did I get started with this? So basically, I play hockey, like I said, and one of my teammates, Jake Siegel, as a joke. So a year before I opened up this spot, he kept saying like, "Yo, Mase, let's open up a barbershop. Let's do this. Let's do that."
Huh.
And at first, I was like, yeah, whatever. I was comfortable where I was at. I wasn't like taking him seriously until one day he was like, "Yo, like we can do this, bro. Let's actually do this." So then I was like, "Okay, you know what? Let's sit down. Let's talk." So we met up, sat down, spoke about like planning and everything, and it was very possible. So from there, that next morning, I started calling barbers, checking out spots, and then this was actually the first spot we checked out. We checked out 3 other places, but this was the one that stuck. It wasn't really location; it was more like what we had.
If you haven't been to the OneThree yet, it's honestly it's a beautiful spot. I congratulate you for that. If you haven't came, it's a pretty nice. It's a fairly big spot. Honestly, it's really nice. It's very spacious. And how many barbers did you start with? And like I see right here, you have 9 chairs, and I feel like that's
Yeah,
a pretty nice 8. You have 8 chairs. 8 chairs is a pretty nice like amount for. It's like a pretty good amount for a barber shop. So what made you want to go with 8 chairs, and how did you start, and how did the hiring process go for the other barbers?
Okay, so for the number of chairs, I kind of like I didn't have 8 in my mind. It was more what would fit the spot best, and this is a big spot, so we have room for 8. And then for how did I find the barbers? It was so I just shot the idea out there. I told barbers like, "Yo, I'm opening up my own thing. If ever, you know, you would be interested, we could talk." So I DM'd some barbers, called up some barbers, and then yeah, I just spoke to some people. I had like probably like a starting 5.
Okay.
Like
And when you're saying starting 5, is it like a bunch of like was it more so like friends, or like was it like some random people? Did you put like an ad on
Okay.
Craigslist, or like
So when you're a barber, like you know people in the industry, right? So it's people I follow all the local barbers. They all follow me. It's kind of like a mutual, like we text each other sometimes. Like we'll reply to a story, you know,
like a community ish?
yeah, exactly. That's how it is. And so yeah, so uh, my number 2 guy, you could say, like Joji,
Okay.
he was actually working with me at the other spot. And when I told him like, "Yo, I'm like opening up my own thing," like he was on board as like on the deck, like he was down.
Yeah.
I told him my vision, and he was down, like down to come with me, you know. And then I called up Seb, which is Surgical Blends, and he used to work with us at Papillon, but he was at a different barber shop.
Okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, for sure, you like I'll come 100%." Like he would rather, like he wasn't too happy where he was at right now, so he just came with us. And then there was Wentz, which is your cousin. That's how I know him. And then I knew he cut hair, so I kind of just
Yeah. You network.
yeah, a whole bunch of people. And then Mikey, which was our boy's
Yeah,
little brother,
little brother.
which we knew he cut hair. So I was just asking like people that I knew that were cutting hair if they were into, like there's probably another handful of barbers I asked, and they're like, "Nah, I'm good where I'm at." But
Yeah. So now you guys you're still in the early stages, I'd say, of the barbershop. How long has it been? Like
it's been since
you guys,
I got the keys on August 1st.
okay.
We opened September 3rd.
Okay.
So
So now it's fair to say that you're owner of a barbershop. So how did you go with your prices? Because a big misconception with prices that's going on with just cutting hair and at all barbershops is that the prices are going up. And back then you could cut your hair for like $10, $15, but nowadays like cuts are like easily 20, $30. So how did you go for your prices and how did you break that down?
Okay, so before the barbershop, I was charging $35 for a haircut, $40 for a beard. And then, okay, my thought process was I'm upgrading to a nicer, better spot.
Hmm.
So prices are going to go up. And for me, like for the longest time, my like good, like my, what I wanted my prices to be was $40 for a haircut, $50 for a haircut and beard. So I thought, okay, it was the perfect time. Upgrading barber shops, we're going to up the price. And then going into the shop, I kind of had the idea of I wanted everyone to charge the same price.
Okay.
But you know, when I first started, not all the barbers were at the same level, so they couldn't all charge that same price.
Hmm.
So then, okay, we had to adapt. So we switched from everyone being the same price to you charged whatever you wanted to charge.
Hmm.
And then I feel like that's been the best thing that we can do, just because if you're a barber starting out, you can't be charging those high prices because you're not going to acquire new clients. You have to beat the price of all the other barbers to get people to start cutting with you, and then that's when once you build a clientele that you know keeps coming back to you, then that's when you put your prices up.
Yeah. So since you guys opened, I feel like you expanded a lot in like the type of you expanded a lot in like the services you offer. So if I'm a customer and I come here, what could I expect? What could I find? I come to the OneThree, like, can I get my hair done? Do you offer other type of things?
Okay, so yes, you come to the OneThree, you can expect a very good haircut.
Okay.
One, you can get a tattoo. We have a tattoo artist.
Interesting.
Yes, you can get your hair braided. You can get your locks retwisted.
I like it.
You can get your nails done.
Interesting. You have a nail tech?
Yeah. So, you know, guys, get your nails done. Make your nails look clean. Girls like that. So,
But
yeah.
what made you want to expand bigger than just the barbershop? Why did you think that just cutting hair wasn't enough? Because it was a big space, or like you wanted to offer, you didn't want here just to be a barbershop, or you want it to be more than just a barbershop?
Like I feel like just like anything, to set yourself apart from the crowd, you got to do things differently.
Mhm.
And we had the perfect opportunity here with the space that we had. We from the bat there were these suites on the side.
Okay.
And then I thought perfect scenario to just have different services offered there, so people can come and you know you can come, you can get your hair done, hair braided, get a tattoo, and you could get your nails done all at the same time. Or you can come with your girl, she gets her nails done, you get your haircut, you leave at the same time, everyone's happy.
I like it. So there's a lot of options to your fingertips when you come here. I like it. What's how could I go through that question? Hair, I feel like hair, I don't know how it is, so you could tell me this. Hair, it works obviously different on everyone. So how when you hire people, or like when a customer comes, how do you gauge how do different types of hair textures work? Like how does a barber see someone and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to go this way for this type of hair, or I'm going to go this certain way for this type of person," or like
You mean like suggesting which hairstyles to do?
no, not more so suggesting hairstyles. Like you as a barber, what are the competitions as someone like me, like let's say with nappy hair coming into the shop, or someone with like a white person with like more
Straighter hair?
like straighter hair, more sleek.
So what's your question?
Basically, my question is like, how do you adapt with every person? Is it really niche? Like, is it really niche like to one type of person, or you really like cover all types of hair
Mhm.
at the OneThree?
Okay, so yeah, we do everything from here. I have all sorts of clients,
Mm.
but when you're starting to learn, it's important that you try on different types of hair textures, because you're not going to cut straight hair the same way you're going to cut curly hair. You can't get the same finished product, so you gotta educate yourself on that, on how to do so, because there's different techniques. But yeah, so when you're beginning to cut hair, I feel like you need to practice on everyone. You need to practice on straight hair, curly hair. Um, so like it varies. Like Asian hair is very straight, and then African American hair is very curly, and then there's everything between that. So it's important that, you experiment with all that type of hair so that when a random person walks in, you're able to do whatever.
So you could take all types of walk-ins.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we're gonna switch it up a bit. We're gonna talk about your stuff. Let's say you were to start back from scratch.
Yep.
Okay. What would you say? Let's say 5. You have 5 equipment, no price, no budget. What are 5 like essentials that you think is very important for a barber, like from hair clips, a blow dryer, anything?
Okay, number 1, you need a clipper, fading clipper.
Okay.
Like if you're starting off, go wall magic clip. Best bang for your buck. Wall magic clip, and then
What's a wall magic clip? What does that do? So like, tell me what do they do? Like each of these things.
okay, so you have the clipper.
Okay.
That's meant for fading and like shortening the hair. So a haircut, you cut the hair, you make it shorter. That's what your clipper does.
Okay.
Next up, outliner. That's what finishes up, trims the edges, makes everything look nice and clean. You got to make sure that you have a decent trimmer, because you want precise lines. That's like what makes the haircut look nice and clean.
Mm.
For that, I would go babyless skeleton trimmer. Those are like, I feel like that's like the 2 essential things. And then you need a cape so that the client doesn't get all dirty. Probably hair clips. It makes it easier at the start to like clip off the hair. And then, so we're at 3 now.
Yeah, we're at 3.
We're at 4.
So you said the outliner.
Outliner, clipper,
Yeah.
cape.
A cape. You have 2 more things. What are you adding?
Okay, I take back the clips. I take back the clips.
5 things. You can only have 5 things.
I need scissors,
Okay, scissors
cut the hair, and a comb
and a comb.
to pick up the hair when you cut it, and then also when you're fading.
Okay,
So
so
that's the starting 5.
those are your top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say let's say me. I'm a new barber. I'm a new barber, and I want to get starting cutting hair, and I have no clue how it works. How would you recommend someone to get started in cutting hair from
Cutting hair?
scratch?
Okay, so before you get the tools, you got to make sure that you like the whole point of cutting hair. So I would say do your research, go on YouTube, check out what goes into a haircut because it's complicated. It's very overwhelming at the start. So do your research, check out, make sure that it's something that you see yourself doing. So once, okay, I want to be a barber, then I would say get the tools. There's a bunch of YouTube videos that say like the best budget friendly, starter kit. So use your judgment on that, what you need, what you don't need. Once you have your tools, do your research, watch YouTube videos, and just keep educating yourself. Whenever you have nothing to do, either practice or learn.
Yeah.
So you're doing that, and then just practice on your friends, family members, advertise free haircuts, because there's always someone that's going to be down for a free haircut. So advertise that, and then just practice makes perfect.
Okay. So like we mentioned earlier, you went to an event, you saw all types of people. So what would you say your Mount Rushmore of barbers is? It could be any types of barber. They have their own barber shop. They do it like a celebrity type. Like, what's your Mount Rushmore name? Give me 4 names of barber shops that you look up to, or like,
Barber?
yeah,
Okay.
barbers.
Oh, okay. So isn't there one like higher than the other? It goes like 1 and then just 4. Okay.
Just give me 4.
Okay. Top. We're gonna start with Chris Basio.
Chris Basio. That's the first name you said.
The GOAT, because this guy grinds, number 1, but number 2, he's an excellent like business minded guy.
Before I'm gonna cut you off, what type of barber is he? Does he own a barber shop? Is he like more
I
influencer?
think he has like 7 barber shops. He has a barber brand. He has an accounting brand now. Like he has real estate. He's done everything. This guy's a hustler. So I'm inspired by him because he hustles. So yeah, he goes top number 1 for sure, because that's who I look up to the most, and I would want to be in his shoes one day. So we'll go him number 1. Number 2, I would go Vic Blends.
Okay.
Everyone knows Vic Blends. I feel like he's well spoken. He's very motivating, and he's good at what he does. So he does he does free haircuts in the streets, but he's cutting guys like Trey Young,
Big celebrities,
Lil Baby, all these guys. So he's going to cut them, but then he's cutting people on the street for free.
Okay.
So he's a super cool guy, and he knows social media. He knows how to build a following. He knows all that. So he goes up there for sure. Next guy, 360 GZ for sure. He's the GOAT.
Doesn't he has waves like
Yeah,
he's special.
If you're a guy and you're on social media, you've seen his waves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just known for his waves, and he's a great barber. Yeah, he has a great personality, so he's that's why he excels on social media.
One more.
One more.
Make it count. Make it count. Someone special.
Okay, I would go faded culture. Okay, so it's not a person, it's a channel, and it's two guys.
Okay.
And they basically have tutorials, so they teach how to do haircuts. And I'd say they would definitely be up there because their haircut tutorial is super helpful, and they've been helping out the community for sure.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. It's an interesting top four. I don't know much of them. A lot of people might connect more with the people you said.
Yeah.
So what would you say? What's next for you? What's next for Mason? What's next for the OneThree?
What's next for the OneThree? I feel like just getting this place overly busy, to where we can't accept new clients.
Okay.
Just keep grinding, keep doing what we're doing, keep providing excellent haircuts, keep posting on social media, keep getting our name out there. Once that's done, the dream would be to open up a number 2.
How else do you see yourself expand? Like, are you eventually going to start selling products? Do you want to have merch for the OneThree? On that side, what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely want to get the products and the merch and all that going. But I feel like the biggest goal for me would be to get like the OneThree like known worldwide. So not only myself as like a barber, but also like the whole brand, like just everyone in the barber industry to know, what the OneThree is. I feel like that's the number one goal.
Okay, that's it. I like that. One thing that I know you don't offer, it's fair because you're fairly new. But do you ever see yourself starting a like OneThree Academy where you're gonna train up and coming barbers?
Not necessarily. Maybe an online academy, like an online course, but having an academy in person, I don't think so. I would rather just put my focus and time on training the guys that are going to work here and be a part of the OneThree team. I feel like that would be, a better investment of my time. And then, yeah, for sure, it would be cool to have an online course, but not an in-person academy.
Okay, no, you don't see yourself having that. Okay, then here, how about you for yourself? Do you see yourself expanding? Like you said, you want to branch out this store. You want it to be worldwide, but for you, Mason, do you see yourself being here at 30, 40 years old cutting, or do you see yourself, you have a few chains running, and do you see yourself more, like you said before, you want it to be like a celebrity barber? Do you see yourself doing that? Like you have your barber shops running, and then you could go outside and spread the OneThree to the world, like cutting exclusive people, exclusive artists. Do you see yourself doing that, or it's mainly like you want to have your chair, you want to cut forever you love?
I feel like I'm always gonna cut hair. I'll probably always cut, the close boys. But no, like I would want to retire from cutting hair and just have barbershops. And then I feel like not only myself, but a lot, like I feel like this is what you should do, is use, cutting hair as a stepping stool to, make your money, and then make sure you make your investments properly. You place your money correctly to where it comes the day where you don't have to cut hair anymore, and you can kind of branch off into different things, like kind of how Chris Bosio does it. He started off, he used cutting hair as a stepping stool, and then just kind of branched out into other things. Because from the start, I've always been more like interested in business. That's all. I've always wanted to have my own business. I was cutting hair, so I feel like that's what I branched into. But the ultimate goal is to be like more of a businessman than a barber. But I'll always be a barber.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you if you had a backup plan, or Do you have a backup plan, or would you say like this is it? Like barbering, that's your route. You found your passion, and that's what you see yourself doing for the
Yeah,
rest of
yeah,
your life, really.
yeah. No, barbering is always going to be something that I can fall back onto. Um, but something I heard this once when I was very young, is don't have a plan A, don't have a plan B because it'll take away from your plan A. You, rather put all my energy and focus into one thing rather than two different things and have like a less better result, right? So you put all your time and effort into one thing and bring that to the moon, and then I kind of I just set myself up to where I can't fail.
Okay, so I would say that the barbershop it came a long way from where you started and to where it is now. I'm super proud of you. I'm sure you're proud of yourself. Um, so since the time you started, what would you, if you could say one thing that you would change in the steps you took? Because obviously this is all new to you, managing a barbershop, managing other barbers, having chairs and stuff. What would you change in the little like the little time that you started to now? What would you change?
What would I have done differently?
Yeah, give me one thing that you would change or you would recommend people to make sure that they have this thing cut down before moving on to the next step.
Um,
Because I don't think you can't say you had a perfect start. Now, what's one thing that you did that you didn't? Let's say you didn't like. Let's say you hired too many chairs or you too many barbers or what would you
Okay.
adjust in your route?
well, I don't regret any like thing that I did.
Yeah.
So I kind of hired a bunch of barbers off the start, but a different way that could be better and more efficient is you have, so let's say we're two fully booked out barbers, get one person, and then they just keep working. They're here all the time, building their clientele until they can't accept walk-ins, and then you get another person, build it up, kind of do it that way. But the way we're doing it, just works just fine. We kind of find like not everyone's fully booked out, so it kind of works out to where some people are busy when other people aren't. So whenever there's walk-ins, it just levels itself out. But no, I wouldn't say I would have done anything differently because the best lesson is from your mistakes. So
Hmm.
go ahead and give it a shot, and you'll learn from the mistakes.
I like that mindset. I like that mindset. So we're gonna close it off. It's gonna be a pretty familiar questions that I'm gonna ask all of our guests. Right?
Give me the beer, bro. Give me the beer. Beer me, bro. Beer me, bro. Beer me, bro. Right now, bro.
Just beer him, bro.
Beer me, bro.
Beer him. We're gonna do the outro and then that's a wrap. Fuck G. Yo, the camera. Yo, ça fait combien de temps les caméras roulent?
We're like,
It was perfect. We were about to end. I'm gonna ask you a little question that I'm gonna ask every guest that comes on this episode. So, for you personally, what's your perfect dial? And by dial, I mean what's the perfect day in your life? So, what are the next steps that you would take personally for you to say, I'm at my perfect dial? You want me to elaborate on it more?
Yeah.
So, let's say, so by dial, I mean your day in the life. Okay. At what point would you say that you're at your perfect dial? Like, you just, like you said, you have the OneThree fully booked, you have a few chains. Like, what's the perfect day in your life?
Damn. Never thought about that. Okay.
it could be everything included.
Okay. So, off the top of my head, so I wake up in the morning, hit the gym. I've been hitting the gym a lot in the morning. Love that. It's a great way to start your day.
Huh.
Wake up, hit the gym. So, okay.
Start over. You know what? Start over. I want you to look at your camera.
All right.
Say honestly, say your perfect dial.
okay.
Because I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
Damn, yo, bro, what are you doing, bro? No, they didn't.
No, we didn't.
going.
We're still going. We're still. Yo, what the fuck?
You ruined the whole thing.
We're dead ass recording.
No, the camera's going, but the thing is, he said like cut off.
No, man, just like you.
I said I'm gonna cut you off. I'm speaking to Mason. And by dial, I mean what's a perfect day in your life? Walk us through like at what point or what are the next steps that you're gonna take, you want to take for you to have your perfect dial?
Okay, so can we say like in 10 years?
Yeah, in 10
Okay,
years.
okay. So so I wake up in the morning. I'm at the gym by 8 a.m.
Okay.
Right? I'm at the gym. Spend a nice 2 hours at the gym. So whatever that is, gym, sauna, gym, treadmill, abs. Like get the day started with a nice gym session.
So stay in shape. You want to be in
Right?
shape, right?
And I'm gonna go eat a nice breakfast. Yeah, maybe hop on the computer, answer a few emails, and then we go straight. First location. Go check out, make sure everything's good. And then we go second location. And then we'll go grab a lunch. Third location. And then I don't know, just make sure everything's rolling good, but not cutting. Like I want to emphasize that cutting isn't in the perfect day in the life. It's wake up, make sure the business is rolling, answer some emails. I want to like eventually have other, like let's say I have to make sure my property's doing good. Like other things like that. Make sure everything is rolling, and then yeah, just spend some time with the family, spend time with the kids.
All right.
Hopefully, we'll have the kids, But yeah, no, just wake up, make sure the fitness is there, check on the businesses, answer emails, maybe film, a little 1-2 YouTube videos or some content. That would be cool too. And then yeah, that's a crazy question. I haven't thought about that. The perfect day in the life.
I like it. We'll have you again.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for dialing in to this episode of the OneThree. Don't forget to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe for our next episode. Thank you again, Mason, for coming. And do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, check us out on Instagram at the OneThree Studio. Check me out on Instagram, Masethebarber MTL. Check out the YouTube, Masethebarber. Check out our TikToks, everything. Support. Hopefully, we'll have some merch soon, so go cop the merch. But yeah,
That's what's up. Let's give him a little round of applause. All right, thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.